Yo, 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 it's your bruh, True Jew, tapping back in with y'all. Look, it's a very special day in True Jew life. Now, y'all know I'm a real private person. I'm not with all the family showboating for likes and clicks and all that, showing off my family, especially in this world we living in where people misconstrue, what we put on the internet and people can be real nasty with it and do whatever they want to do with the footage that we release into the public space for people to then do whatever they want with it, right? But today is a very special day. I was out there in the field working. And first of all, what is this special day? This special day is my 14th year marriage anniversary. Okay, so first and foremost, let me shout out my beautiful wife, babe, my beautiful ray of light. Okay, she came into my life when I was 22 years old. And I got married to her when I was 22 years old. Now I'm 36 years old. So it's been 14 years of a beautiful journey up into this very day. And I thank you, babe, for making me your husband. I thank you for making me a husband. I thank you for making me a papa. And I thank you for making me a man. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, that man part. What do I mean by that? Making me a man. Well, that's the whole point of this video, to help my brothers identify a woman's worth. Now, sisters, y'all listen, whatever age group you in, it's all good. But this message is primarily for my brothers because we the ones that need the help in identifying a woman's true worth and her true value. Because once we identify the woman's worth and the woman's true value, that woman will then turn around and add ultimate multiplied value to us as men, as young men growing into our manhood. Now, I'm the type of individual that believes manhood isn't a one-stop shop. It's not, oh, I paid the bills, I got the flashy car, the flashy ride, now I'm a man. I don't subscribe to that. Instead, I believe manhood is a journey. The journey into manhood is the whole length of life. It's our ability to identify that woman's worth. It's our ability to cultivate her. It's our ability to raise children. It's our ability to caretake over those children and that woman. Or if you polygynous, those women, those children. But the point is, I want to include everybody in this, especially my brothers, because it's very important. Okay. I got married to my wife at 22 years old. All right. I was on the street. I was running the street. I was thugging. Y'all know I'm from the Bay. I was out there getting it in. And before I met her, there was something that had to happen within me spiritually, internally, before I was even worthy enough to meet her and know that she even existed. Okay, before I had my renewal of the mind, I didn't even know she existed, let alone existed for me to be her husband and to be in a relationship and a journey with her. That was what I hope lifelong. We didn't reach 14 years, so let's do 14 more, babe. But look, I didn't know that she existed. And the reason I didn't know she existed is because my mind wasn't ready to receive her. My heart wasn't in a place where my frequency would match the type of love and light that she required as a young woman. Okay? Now, y'all got to understand something. When I was 22 years old and I was out here doing my thing. Wasn't none of my friends thinking about no marriage. We wasn't talking about no marriage. We still in the street. We still in the clubs. We still trying to make our way in life from the perspective that we held for life, right? And a lot of those things were disastrous. They were debilitating. They were harmful. They could have gotten me killed, gotten me took out the way. And so if I was to meet this woman, this young lady at the time, she's still young fly. If I was to meet her when we was even younger, then my actions of not even protecting myself and knowing my own worth would have caused pain and turmoil to her life. And instead, due to the renewal of my mind and the Most High, Mama and Papa graciously having that grace over my life, mercy on my life, and keeping me here another day to recognize my faults and to recognize my transgressions against them, being within this avatar and doing what they need to do to guide me to a place of true light and true existence and utilizing that breath of life the correct way. I had to get to that point before I would meet this woman. Okay. Now, if I was on the other path and I met her, any of my actions could have taken not only myself out the way, but harmed her as well. And we don't want that, bro. We don't want that, my brothers, okay? So this is what's happening. How do we identify this woman's worth? Well, first and foremost, you have to know that you worth something. You have to know your self value. You have to know that you are worthy of making decisions in your life that will keep you here another day. Okay? Remember above all, like Mama Afeni Shakur say, remember above anything, okay? Remember above anything to live another day, okay? It's very important that you keep your life about you, young men, because when you keep your life about you, then you can start making the decisions that it takes to not only add unto that life, but cultivate the life of the next generation, cultivate and bring forth new life that you will be able to guide and teach and tend to so that this world could become a better place. Because it's all about bringing in that next generation, protecting them, guiding them, and caretaking over them with that woman so that you guys and so that you all can add to this beautiful life existence in this creation. Now, a woman's worth. I was out there in the field today, and this is why I brought up the field and work, okay? Because out there in that field, I already knew a couple things, but it's best when you know something through knowledge and then you're able to know something through experience. Those are two different knows. See, when I got out there and I get out there in that land, I pray over it. First and foremost, I pray over it. Just like I did my wife, who was that woman who was going to be my future wife. We prayed together, right? Then it was time to get together physically, right? And just like getting together physically with the woman, you getting together physically with the land after you pray over it. You gotta bust it open. You gotta break it open. You gotta hoe it open. You gotta roll holes. You gotta hoe rows into the ground that seed will eventually go into. You gotta break that ground open just to plant the seed, right? Then if you are uh, a studious man, a man that understands his job as a caretaker, provider, nurturer, guide, and protector, then you will begin to plant that seed after that prayer, after that breaking open that land. Then you will begin to hope and pray again that that seed germinates and that it begins to take root within the ground and sprouts. Then once it begins sprouting, you got to hope and pray again that that sunlight isn't too strong for it, that it doesn't cause that plant to wither away. So you got to water it, you got to tend to it. Then you got to hope and pray again that the elements don't attack it, that it doesn't get knocked out the way, that certain animals don't come by and pick it out the ground. Then you got to hope and pray again that the weeds and grass roots don't choke out that seed and cause it from growing even further into the plant that you expect it to be. Then you got to hope and pray again that that plant grows and matures to where it can begin producing the fruit that you hope for it to produce. And this is one thing that I recognize within myself as a young man. Before I met my wife to be, I told her, look, well, I told myself, I want to be a certain type of man. The type of man that I want to be is I want to exhibit the fruits of the Spirit. I want to exhibit kindness. I want to exhibit meekness, humility. I want to exhibit perseverance. I want to exhibit that eternal sense of love through long suffering that it takes to start a journey with someone or something and finish and see that journey through. You see, I had to begin understanding my own worth. My young brothers and my brothers watching this, who might have been confused about where we are in the land today and how they need to see, how we need to see our women. Now, once I began identifying the type of man that I wanted to be, I realized that I wanted to be led to a woman who I could exhibit those qualities to, but who would also receive those qualities and allow me to be the man that I wanted to be. See, it's not a threat when balance is in play. It's not a threat to be the man that you need to be when you are living in a harmonious life. Now, many of our women, unfortunately, was raised in single homes just like we was. And the difference, though, is young boys normally they seek to be men. Now, whether that man that they become is toxic or whether that man they become is true man, truly harmonious. Because, like I told you earlier, I believe manhood is a journey, not a destination. So, when that man grows into a man, depending on what he saw as a young boy, that's what he's going to reverberate in his manhood. Now, many of us young boys, we didn't have our fathers and we saw our mothers in relationships. Hopefully they were in a relationship that lasted and stood the test of time, even if that man wasn't our biological father. But some of us was raised in toxic homes. So the relationships we saw our mothers raised in that were toxic, or part of, excuse me, that were toxic, we were raised around that. And some of us don't know no better when it's time for us to be men in our relationships. And unfortunately, Some of our young women were raised in fatherless homes. So they don't know what a real man looks like and how to receive that man when he actually steps into their life. And this is where the qualities and the characteristics of the Spirit of the Most High must come into play. Because when you love your woman, when you have been led to this woman and you grow in truth with her, there will be obstacles all the time that you must persevere through. You must be tenacious in a marriage, and you must be able to get to and through your marriage in the days that cultivate or culminate into that long lasting marriage. In my case, those days have culminated into 14 years. There's another brother watching this right now with his woman. It's day one. It's the second week of marriage. It's the fourth week of marriage. It's the fourth year of marriage. Don't give up, my bruh. Don't give up. Don't give in. You was born a champion. You was made to win. See, that's me. I tell my family that all the time. Look, we will not give up. We will not give in. We was born champions. We was made to win. And that thing about marriage that we have to learn, y'all, is that we have the wedding. Okay, then we have the marriage. The wedding is the party. The wedding is that one-off thing that we invite the family to. The whole family probably doubting that y'all gonna make it anyway. The whole family was just hungry, wanted some food and wanted to celebrate on that weekend, wanted to party, wanted to kick back. They was tired of working all week and just needed something to relax and ease their mind and ease their stress. So your wedding came along and it served that purpose as a party. But the marriage, y'all, the marriage, the reason you had the wedding, the marriage is the journey. And so many of us don't know how important that journey is. Man, it's a good thing to find you a woman and to find you a good woman. And now let's talk about the worth of a woman. See, when you can identify that a woman is beautiful, both inside and out, that a woman is worthy of your time, that a woman is worthy of your attention, that a woman is worthy of your love, that a woman was brought to your life for a divine purpose, then you can begin to recognize her worth. And once you begin to do her, like that precious and fertile earth, because that's what our women's are. They are fertile and precious earth, okay? And when you begin to recognize her value in that sense, and you begin to put love and care and time into her, patience into her, and you begin to cultivate her, guess what? She's going to turn around and she's going to cultivate you 10, 100, 1,000, a million fold. And she's going to show you your value as a man. And she's actually going to make you that man that you always wanted to be. See, when you can put your time and patience and strength and love into her and cultivate her and show her value and worth. Maybe that her father wasn't able to show her because he was absent from her life. And you show her that she is beautiful. You show her that she is worthy. You show her that she is valuable of your time. You show her that you want to go through a journey and obstacles and all sorts of life ills with her. Then she will begin to reflect that love back to you. She will begin to look within herself and see her own self-worth. Oh, that ain't no brother that just want to hit it and quit it. That ain't no brother that just want me for now and don't want to go through the hard times with me, because she had hard times too. And she's thinking in herself, well, when I was this age or that age, is that why my daddy left me? Is that why my daddy ain't contacting me? Is that why my daddy don't want to reach out to me? Is that why my daddy don't see the value in me? And if another man come along and who's not her father and claims to want to be with her and then is with her for a little while and then doesn't have the patience and tenacity to go through the life's ills with her, and then he leaves her too, then she's going to be debilitated even more, y'all. And she's going to think that she's really not valuable. And that's when the toxicity takes place. That's when she begins to deal with all these other men who don't want no good for her. That's when she begins to do those disastrous things. And maybe by this time, y'all done had a baby or two. And then when you left her, now she got to raise these children by herself. And she's raising them with a toxic mentality because she thinks she's not valued and loved. You have to take a chance with her, bruh. You have to take a chance with her, my G. You have to long suffer. Yeah, it might not look like what you want it to look like at first. Just like that soil might not look like what you want it to look like at first. When you had to bust that land open, before you did it, it was probably weeds sprouting everywhere. It was probably all kind of plants growing up that wasn't nothing like the plants you wanted to cultivate. What did you have to do? You had to get your tools together. You had to get your mind right. You had to make it up in your mind that whatever time and dedication it took to make that land what you wanted it to be, you was going to take the time to bust that land open, to bust it down, to make it what you needed that soil to be. Then you had to make up your mind that you was going to water and tend to that soil, that you was going to water it, and that you was going to make it suitable to carry life and the seed that you wanted to produce. Then you was going to have to tend to it all the way. Okay, you was gonna have to make sure that you stayed present in its life. That whatever seed you planted, you wasn't just gonna plant that seed and then walk away and let the wild get to it, let the elements get to it and let that seed grow and sprout up and go wild and crazy. And that leads me to another point. There are many men who have planted seed in that precious ground, that precious soil, and they walked away for another farmer, somebody else to come and tend to it. And then they see that that other person, that other man came and tend to it, and he started cultivating that land the way it was supposed to. He started tending to it the way it was supposed to, and that seed was no longer wild no more. That man removed that weed from out around that plant, and that plant was be able to grow and produce what it was supposed to. I'm thinking about LeBron James. I'm thinking about Shaquille O'Neal. I'm thinking about all those greats that we've seen in our lives whose daddy left them, and then another farmer, another tender came to that plant and that seed and sprouted it up for that seed to grow into something great. Just for that first man to come along and say, oh, I want access to it now that I see it's growing into what I wanted it to grow into. Nah, bruh, you too late now. You had a chance to tend to it and that precious woman when she wasn't what you thought she was going to be. And now she's something. Now those babies is something. And that is another thing. My brothers who are with those single women who have those two children, that child that she didn't cultivated by herself, that she had to raise by herself, and now you came into her life, and you might not be the biological father to these children. No, bruh. Listen, first of all, you're doing the right thing by tending to them, but don't leave them. They were led to your life for a reason. And like that farmer who looked off afar and he saw that precious plant growing, but it might have had weed growing around it, weeds and all sorts of disastrous thorns and thistles growing around it. And he said, wait, that land over there looks abandoned. Let me come and tend to it and do right by it. Let me come and tend to it and raise it up the right way. And now he raised it up and came to it. Yeah, y'all. Now that plant is producing, that ground is producing what it's supposed to produce. And salute to that brother who took a chance with that woman with those babies and is raising them all up and is formulating a family in true harmony and unity. Salute to y'all. Salute to my brothers who recognize that woman's worth and recognize his ability to tend and cultivate to her, even if he is her first uh man and y'all are the ones who produce those first set of children. Salute to y'all. When you identify that woman's worth as being that precious fertile soil, that precious fertile real estate who is worthy of your time, your care, your compassion, and you tend to her the right way, she is going to make you a man. She is going to make you a father. She's going to make you a papa. She's going to make you a successful businessman. She's going to make you a man of vision. She's going to make you a man of integrity. She's going to make you a man of honesty. She's going to make you a man of kindness, because all of those things is what it takes to produce a solid family structure, y'all. All of those things is what it takes to produce a solid family, unified front. That's what the world needs. We need to get back to family. We need to get back to true compassion and care for one another. Okay? And that's what a woman's worth will do for you, brothers, if you take the time to first recognize your own self value and then take the time to recognize what it truly means to put that value into someone other than yourself. Okay? This your bruh True Jew talking about a woman's worth. A woman's worth will add to your worth, bruh. A woman's worth will add to your value, bruh. And when you combine value together, you will see just how very wealthy you are. Thank y'all for taking time to rock with me again. Thank y'all for taking time to support me. I love you to life. Most High Mama and Papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, y'all stay vigilant, stay strong. Gone.